Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 da, da. Alright, we've already got one ending, which was, let's see. I think it was ending 2. Yeah, we got ending 2, Dawning. Now we're gonna go in for ending 4, okay? Through my deductive reasoning and research, I have found the way to get this. So, I hope you guys can join me in finding ending 4. Yeah, that's all that's all I got right now. So let's do this. Let's go back to return, start, and let's just skip this because we already read this. All right, first question. Haven't you learned your lesson, idiot? You truly are an idiot. Haven't you learned your lesson? You're injured because of your own doing. You dare tempt fate again? I'm sorry, Mother. I just thought it'd be better to eat and sleep first before I left. Please don't be angry. Then stop your disobedience. If you do not want me to be angry, then give me a reason to be. Haven't I told you time and again that the world is full of beasts? If only you were not like this. You saw the way that priest looked at you, didn't you? And still, you insist on staying. Where is your head? I understand. I shall leave at once. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. This is all your fault. Why must you be like this? You are a blight to my heart. Sorry. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. Mother was right, after all. She was always right. Everything was her fault. Her fist shook. Oh, fist shook with a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There's something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was the altar. On top of the altar was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her head, and the tip of the cross had been crafted such that it was razor sharp. She lit the pew, knelt briefly, and then walked over to the altar. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arm trembled over ever so slightly. What other way is there for me to atone? She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter. Mother is proud of you. Slowly, she brought the sharp end close to her face, so close that it hovered just above her left eye. And then, she... Chapter 1. Star and the Rose. And I think we could skip this. Skip. Are you hungry, child? Are you hungry, my dear? Yes, Mother. Don't you worry. Mother will provide you. You do not need those high-class foods anyway. They will upset your stomach. Now we stayed long enough. Let us leave. Surely we can look around for a bit. Still a little early. There was something else that called to her, other than the party itself. She walked to and fro from the gate, peeking at the crowd, despite the urgings of her mother to leave. Just a tiny glance would be enough. The girl smiled at the thought of him. The owner of the chateau, the Marquis de Gaulle. The girl was drawn to him. He wasn't the same as other people. He seemed different, somehow. He was kind to her, and would always hand her food when she did deliver flowers. Her heart felt at ease with him. He is the same as everyone. Greedy, insatiable. Maybe not for you, but for something else. But he is a kind man, Mother. Don't let his kindness fool you. Sweetest tongues hides sharpest tooth, child. She bit her lip. Why do you even bother with him? He makes me feel that there are still good people in the world, Mother. There are no more good people in the world, child. The world has run out of them. All that is left are manipulative souls who appear kind on the outside because they need other people to survive. Ultimately, they only care for themselves. Don't you think I'm a good person, Mother? Of course not. Humans are intrinsically selfish, including you. Why do you think I take great pains to keep you out of trouble? Because you are like this little monster. I'm sorry, Mother. If I ever caused you any pain, please forgive me. The girl stared at her shoes, looked around for a bit, hoping for just a glance before she left. And there he was. There was no harm in looking, she reasoned. She would never enter the Marquis' world. Let her heart be filled with hope. He turned his eyes in her direction. Did he smile at her? The girl's heart stopped. Did he recognize her? She beamed. My. Oh wait, I could skip this part. Alright. See. Didn't I tell you to leave? Listen, little child. Now you call for me? Try to deal with the situation yourself. Put yourself in this position anyway. I hope you learn your lesson. Hey there. The child's voice called out from behind her. Here's Catherine. It belonged to a girl around 7, with chubby cheeks and a look of curiosity in her eyes. She wore an old blue dress, somewhat patched at the corners but kept clean and tidy. She was not rich. She had an air as if she owned the ground she stood on. Another commoner? This party is obviously teeming with them. The Marquis loves these dames. He picks them randomly from the street. Maybe I should get me one too. You'd think it's fashionable abroad, in this perfect country, I mean. Persia? No. I heard he was from India. I heard a rumor he's a bastard son of a Greek queen. Goodness, that is so far-fetched. I could barely pronounce his name, though. You really should change it to something more acceptable. Who knows what kind of demons he might attract with such a blasphemous name. It must be why all these nasty, horrid little creatures flock around him. Oh, devil or not, I'll forgive him if he kisses my hand. The ladies laughed. I think we could skip this one too. That was a little introduction to Catherine. Wow, skipping a lot. But you don't need to know this stuff. He was nothing but selfish. He fought so hard. He never used to fight with me. But now, she killed herself. Her sacrifice lost in her selfish ways. I knew she would just cause you pain. I'm glad you're back to me. I was so worried about you, darling. She almost let you astray. Away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. It was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed at her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Rosa. And there's Gulmil. Let's skip this part. Look at how he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. There's an absence of a feeling in him. Don't you see? Goes beyond the usual apathy of loneliness. Did he really even love Catherine? How well do you even know him, child? I known him for as long as I knew Catherine, mother. He's a close friend. I didn't ask how long you known him, but how well. Beyond the marks that he displays in public view. Do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot. He is different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at me with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cast for all her regrets. To me, he seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. Makes sense. Me and Catherine's relationship began to puter into coldness right before she died. The mental instability only served to compound the fracture in their relationship. Perhaps Gumi was tired of her and had her killed off for convenience? Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him. Rosa stared at the man beside her. Alright, we skip this one. You're a monster. Just like your father. Just stop. Throw people away. Did you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. No. Stop it. She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Me stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out loud. It pulled the plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded, and she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing. She did not even realize her face was wet. Me and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. They knelt down by Rosa's bed, wiped their tears with his hands, did not say anything. Rosa stared blankly ahead, almost stunned how many years a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. Now we skip this to the next part, which will be justice. Start with his guilt, child, then deliver punishment fitting for one so vile. He cannot get away with this. Rosa didn't speak. She started to form the words in her mind, feeling them in her bones, giving life to every thought. Took a small knife and carved a symbol on her floor. Didn't need much, a guilt spell. Didn't aim to punish, only aimed to inform. She needed to know how much guilt the man carried and the source of such guilt. If the guilt was concrete and came from a direct action, then she would know Gumi did something to Catherine. It had been a while since she had used magic. It used to be the only way she could protect herself in the world. Mother had taught her, and now Mother guided her as she cast her spell. Needed a possession of the man. Rosa opted for his voice, still fresh from memory. He focused on the last conversation they shared. You need something to hate. I will take care of you. I need you. His words made Rosa feel distress and confusion. Always was this way with him. The feeling wasn't foreign. I've been there for years. I will always be here for you. Rosa felt a violent force upturn her stomach. It was a hard lurch just before vomiting. You failed. The spell collapsed in her brain. Focus, idiot child, or you'll lose your chance. Rosa tried again. This time, she focused on Gumi's eyes. Cold. Flints of steel. Dark. Phantomless. No grief except perhaps for the situation. No, Catherine. No pain of loss. It didn't matter to her. Her relationship was dying anyway. Where was his guilt? Rosa dug deeper. She increased the chanting on her spells. No torment. No uncertainty. No guilt. Did his spell fail again? She searched once more and found nothing. There was no guilt in Gumi's eyes. She couldn't stop the spell now, knowing that he was innocent. The spell had worked and Gumi was blameless, but his absence was most distressing. Rosa desperately pushed her mind further, almost wishing there were traces hiding behind her reach. Guilt should be present in any loss, no matter how little. Don't we blame ourselves for our own loss? Don't we hate ourselves and punish ourselves, even if it wasn't our fault? It didn't have to be real. We need guilt to feel pain, but Gumi didn't have a sliver of guilt. Vicious pain took hold of her again, squeezing her stomach with murderous intent. Pain was so great, Rosa wasn't sure if the spell had failed or succeeded. Something is wrong. Before Rosa could agree with Mother, she felt a sharp pain in her throat. Rosa clutched her neck, scraping, scratching. A sharp, jagged lump was blocking her breathing. She could feel its edges crawl up her windpipe, tearing the soft walls as it moved about. The pain did not stop. Rosa fell to her knees and gagged. Huge drips of blood-spotted spit ran down her chin. Thrashed about like a woman being strangled. Mother remained calm, unaffected by Rosa's distress. Rosa was about to expel whatever it was. Tears ran down her face. A horrible, acidic taste coated her tongue. Finally, she opened her mouth and forced the vile thing out. She kept her eyes shut, afraid to look at whatever had come out of her. But the choking feeling gripped her. She puked again. The liquid dripping down her mouth thickened and congealed. It wasn't spit anymore. Blood. It gathered around her knees in a growing pool. Rosa patted. Every breath was laced with pain. But the gruesome effect had finally stopped. She wiped the sweat on her forehead. Something on the floor reflected light. She struggled to comprehend what was in front of her. She reached out with her hand, and the prick of something sharp made her recoil. She tried again, this time seeing more clearly. So picked them up, shaking hands. Needles. Alright, now we skip this part. I just want you guys to find out that Gumi didn't feel any guilt towards Catherine. I knew it. I knew it. That man. We must find out how to destroy him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Gumi? Chapter 3. Portraits and Candlelit. Alright. This is when Catherine's a little bit older. I think she's 16 at this time. And her sister right now is in a relationship with Gulmil. Just go in and ignore him, child. Why are you so nervous anyway? Alright, now skip this. We're just talking to each other. There are no more good people left in this world, child. She shut her eye and prepared herself for the worst. She always did when. Then, felt her face being turned from side to side. She opened her eye to see Gumi studying her face like a textbook. You are a fairly attractive girl. Why do you carry yourself as if it's a slight? And no, we keep on going. Skip. Yeah, her sister died. Told her. Instead of staring into space, why not do something useful? Find out about the Marquis. Please, Mother. Not right now. How dare you talk back to me? Well, aren't you an ungrateful little beep? How dare you talk back to me like that? I'm sorry, Mother. I am just upset. Even in her death, this captain still manages to offend me. Good riddance. Rosa. Gumi's soft voice came from behind. Rosa glanced at him, acknowledgement. He said quietly, beside her for a few moments but ventured to speak. Have you thought about my offer? My house is always open for you. Remember that. Sorry for my outburst back then. That's nothing. The wind played around their feet. Rosa pictured Catherine as part of the breeze. Well, playful and free. Now we skip this one too. See, because if you watched my other series, the other ending, you know that Catherine died already, and this is just her and him talking about it. Open it. Open and lock it. I like to see what is inside. An object that he owns will make any enchantment more powerful. Rosa fussed with the pendant for a while, but like Umi said, it was stuck. I'll try again later, Mother. I'm rather curious about it myself. The spell will start its affecting stages, gradually uncovering his true face. Fondness first, then trust. Familiarity. Rosa sighed. Was the spell necessary at all? Didn't she already have that meal? Rosa bit her lip, remembering the warmth of his hand. We had known each other for a long time. It was rather comforting to have someone to mourn with. However, Rosa did find it strange that Gumi rarely even mentioned Catherine anymore. It was as if he was shedding her off like skin. Again, the taste of blood in her throat resurfaced. The memory of the needles made her stomach lurch. Since her friend had died, Marquis had been spending all his hours locked in his office. He barely showed himself socially, rarely even attended meals. They were casting a powerful spell, something that might harm Gumil. What if he was, after all, innocent? She had years of good memories with him. What was she even expecting to find out? Exactly how could she live with the guilt of two dead friends? Was aside. Now we skip this into the next choice. This doomed punishment will be swift, my dear daughter. Do it, for Mother. Chapter 4? Yes, Metamorphosis. I think it might be a short stream, because I'm already like almost halfway through yeah, it might be a short stream. I'm gonna probably do this for 30 minutes. Probably get into yeah, right there. Okay. Alright. This is just the past. Does Gumi's presence upset you? Of course. Why focus on Catherine's performance? Gumi is just over there. Well, go on then. Why don't you approach him? Ask him about his travels, his work. Tell him all about the books you've read, and then listen to him talk about Catherine as if the girl shits gold. As usual. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I get that, Captains. Oh, you're making your life so complicated, darling. Why do you even bother yourself with these people? It is obvious she will abandon you. Will obviously abandon you when they get together. They make such a lovely pair. Rosa winced at Mother's voice, as if it were nails grating on a wall. It's only a matter of time, isn't it? What will you do then? Aren't you tired of being the third wheel? Not like that, Mother. Friends. Friends? Darling, friendship is nothing but a shallow kind of relationship. People change, friends, as easily as the weather. Don't even remember the friends you make at a certain age. Friendships do not last. Listen to Mother. Friendships do not last. You always love so much. Give all of yourself. Just don't want you to get hurt. They're not worth the love you give them. My dear, every relationship is centered around need. Needs you now. But soon, he will abandon you too. Rosa's tongue felt bitter in her mouth. She was filled with annoyance of her mother. Wasn't happiness as fleeting as friendship? Yet it was not any less real than sadness. These friends, these were people who accepted her. They shared laughter, tears, their own regrets and dreams. What more was needed? Rosa's confused feelings began to arrange themselves neatly in her mind. Me and Captain's happiness was important to her. That was the main thing. I knew they felt the same way for her. And her insecurities were real, but they were insignificant. If anything, they were bittersweet. She had no regrets. This time in her life, she wanted to talk back to Mother. Bit her lip, swelling the nerves as she opened her mouth to speak. I know that. What? I know that Catherine matters more to him than I do. I know they might abandon me one day for whatever reason. It might be today, or next year, or even sooner. That doesn't matter in the long run. I'm happy with them. We have years together that I will treasure. Like I treasure memories of you too, Mother. My memories of you keep me sustained. That is why I love you. Years we spent together, no matter how fleeting, are still worth something. So let me care for them right now. Everything changes, but nothing is lost. I'm gonna skip this to the next choice. Now Gumi comes, tries to court Catherine all over again. At this point, he already confessed his love to her. And now this is a little bit later, when they're a bit older. Alright. Huh? You can almost hear liquid sloshing around in my brain when I shake my hand. Yeah, in the morning they had a fight, and now she's coming to talk to Rosa about it. Get up together. Okay. Talking and talking and talking, talking and talking and talking, till somehow she kisses her. Whatever reason, she feels guilty about it, so she runs to Gumil to confess her adultery, basically, and they talk about it. But as they talk about it, they start to have, the naughties. But as she was doing the naughties, they found out, or she found out, Gumi was some kind of monster, and it was sucking away her love, something like that. Alright, yeah. She is shellfish, just like everyone else. What do you expect? She's selfish, just like everybody else. She used you as an experiment. Now that her curiosity is sated, she's done with you. You don't matter to her. You probably never did. Which is a good thing, darling. You see her true face. And now we go to the next option. And she's going crazy. Because what Gumi took from her when they were having the naughties was love. And now, then it goes to a flashback to Rosa's past when she was still with her mother, and her mother's abusive, but also loving. It's one of those bipolar persons. To be stuck with a filthy monster who betrays me every chance she gets. I've told you time and again. Do not disobey me. Mother! I should have smothered you years ago. You're a curse. Do all this for you, to protect you. And you repay me how? Lies and betrayal? Should have thrown you out the window and watched the crows feed on your remains. It's not too late now, don't you think? Maybe I should teach you a harder lesson. Maybe I should leave here right now and never come back. Worse than any physical pain. The girl felt a despair so big it made her heart burst. Rosa clung to her mother's legs. And now we skip this too, because we don't need this. As I said, this is just Rosa reliving her past with her abusive mother and loving mother. Because she beats her, but then at the right next second, she starts to love her again. For like saying I love you and all that stuff. You will do the right thing. Deliver the punishment they deserve. Punish him. Rosa's hands were over her head. She pressed herself into her corner, panting. She had never heard her mother this loud before. Punishment! This one was so loud it rattled her skull and made her vision blur. Mother, what more do you want? Spell us already. She bent her head down, black spots creeping into the edge of her vision. She was so tired. Can I hide anything from me? What is this doubt you are nursing? You are hesitating. You are crafting another spell. You stupid harlot. That filthy Marquise is exactly the kind of monster I've been warning you about. Dare plan behind my back? I just don't want to kill anymore, Mother. You cannot help but answer back this time. You still need to skip this part. You fancy him, don't you? Or maybe the voice peered out into an abrupt, chilly silence. There was a wade, sweat dripping down her brow. I knew it. Fancy him, don't you? You filthy bug. It's not like that, Mother. Past and present, rinse and repeat. Always a selfish little girl. Rosa was horrified. No, not selfish. A selfish little girl that loves a murderer more than her own mother. This final proclamation, Rosa was struck to the floor. The feeling of fainting was stronger than ever. Alone in the dark, she lay there, panting like a sick dog, waiting for what would come next. He killed me, made me love him, and he betrayed me. He deserves death. Only you can kill him. I can't kill him. It's what I want. That's not true. It is. I want to see justice served. You do that for me, Rosa. My darling daughter. I could always count on you to do the right thing. So kill him. Kill Gumil. Kill him. Promise me. Make him suffer. Stab him with a knife. Stick a dagger down his throat. Gouge his eyes out. Execute his sentence. Rosa clutched her head so hard she thought her skull would burst. For a long moment she lay as though she were dead. 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Then, in the middle of the empty room, Rosa's voice rang out as clear as a bell. I understand. And I think... Oh, no, we're still in this chapter. Oh, wow. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop it here. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stop it here. Let me save. Save. Over here. We're in chapter 5 already. Psyche. Oh, wow. So, thanks for anybody who was checking in and tuning in. This is gonna be ending 4 of Cupid. Return. No, not return. Back. Now we're back. Options. Main menu. Yes, I already saved. We're gonna go for ending 4 right here. We're halfway through it though. Alright. Thanks for anybody who's checking out. Leave a like and comment down below. And I'll see you again tomorrow for more Cupid. Oh, and I'll be streaming on Twitch The Secret of Mana. So, if you guys want to see that, I'll be over there. See ya.